Well, we're pleased to be joined by Devan Dubnyk, goaltender with the Minnesota Wild, who has been, well, like so many of us, spending lots of time in and around the house. To get out a little bit, Devan, as the weather starts to warm up a bit, still with social distancing?
Yeah, it's been, the weather makes a huge difference on how the day goes, really. When it's nice outside and the boys are able to get out, we got a decent setup in the backyard with playground and trampoline, so if they can get some fresh air and get out and rip around on their bikes around the front yard is makes all the difference in the world. When you get a cold day or a rainy day that you got to stay inside, the boys get bored pretty quick.
Well, the one thing you do have is you've got kind of like a gym setup, which is, it looks like it's fun not only for the adults, but how are your kids enjoying that?
It's awesome. We moved into this house a couple years ago. That was one of the huge things that was a big selling point. It's a big sport court. It's built below the garage, so it's you actually go to the basement and then take more stairs down to the sport court. And it's kind of like a basketball court, 3-point line. Not really a basketball court anymore because it's like bouncy house and hockey and hoverboards and all that kind of stuff. But we're pretty fortunate to have that space for the kids to go down and rip around, and they can basically make as much noise as humanly possible without being heard anywhere else in the house down there.
You mentioned your wife, and I know it's been your wife had some health issues, and thankfully she's feeling much better, but you're also juggling everything at home and trying to continue being a number one netminder in the NHL. How would you kind of describe maybe the degree of difficulty this year and just making sure everything was going well for not only you, but the entire family?
Yeah, it's been a year for sure. Start to finish. It gives you a little bit of time to reflect, and it's certainly been a strange season, to say the least, in just about every single way you could imagine. It started off, the record was bad, felt great in the net. Started winning some games and got a small injury actually against Edmonton, and came back and then struggled for a little bit, and then obviously everything happened with Jen, and took a bunch of time off, and it was extremely difficult. I mean, you realize pretty fast what's important, and the organization was fantastic in giving me time to be home and where I needed to be to make sure that everyone was safe and healthy, and we got through that and came back, and Al was playing great. I mean, it was a situation where Al stepped in and really took over and was playing fantastic, and I said many times over, I'm played long enough. I'm here to win, and I'm going to be here to support him and cheer him on when he's playing as well as he is, and just be ready to go when I can be. And that's kind of where we were when everything went to a halt. But fortunately, we've had some time to spend with the family, and most importantly, Jen's doing extremely well, and we're getting back to some normal, I guess, if you can call it that. It's not normal in any way, but just to be with the family day to day, and everyone being healthy has been a blessing for sure.
Well, I know it's mentally and physically challenging being a goalie, and yet you've got another goalie in the family. What's it like watching one of your boys follow in the footsteps of his dad?
Yeah, he likes to talk a lot, so he puts the gear on and likes to be a goalie. But you know what? I mean, it's funny, even when we take him out and there's no goalies, he still will make his way back to the net. So I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that right now. He's actually not bad at it. He sat basically in a butterfly for the first few years of his life, which was a real challenge for us because we were trying to get him to not sit like that, because I'm like, that's not healthy for your hips. When you're growing, please don't sit like that. And so finally we got him out of it, but he's still got some pretty good hip flexibility. So we'll see where it goes. But I mean, I'm certainly gonna move him away from the goaltending position as much as possible, but something tells me he might find his way back there.
Well, now you're a goalie and a successful one, drafted in the first round by Edmonton. Now, going into that draft year, you're also the Canadian Hockey League Scholastic Player of the Year. What was it like to well, I guess, work hard on the ice, leading to being drafted in the first round, but also be working hard at school as well?
No, it was just something that my parents always instilled in me, and I always took a lot of pride in. To be presented with that award was, I'm sure, it was very honorable for me, but probably one of the more prouder awards for my parents that I've gotten in my career. I think that's probably might be their favorite if you ask them.
Well, it's been a long journey, and like any journey, there's bumps in the road, there's successes, there's setbacks, and you think of just kind of, when I say everywhere you've been, I don't mean necessarily geographically, but just where you've been in your career and in your life. What's it been like to sort of just kind of continue to persevere? All-star netminder, number one netminder for a National Hockey League team. What it's kind of all been like for you?
It's a ride, and I think anybody that has a career, that extends 10 plus years, it's a ride, and you're going to have ups and downs. I don't know if my ups and downs have been quite extreme, more like a extreme roller coaster than anything else. But I mean, the biggest thing is you learn from them. You learn, from the way I felt when everything kind of fell off in Edmonton, and then that year just went to the tank. I mean, that's been obviously well documented on how all of that went, and how I was able to come back, and you just learn from that. And I think, I've said before, a big thing I took from that was just being grateful for being in the NHL, and having a chance to play, and just really trying to hang on to that, whether I'm playing 70 games a year or being a backup. Just be grateful that I've been blessed to be in the best league in the world, and just to enjoy it. And then on top of that, be grateful for family, for friends and family, and the people that you realize when you go into this really low place, and you don't know which direction your career is going or life is going. And then you realize, all these people who are close to you, that they're going to be there no matter what. No matter what happens to you. If you quit hockey tomorrow and decide you want to be a realtor or a construction worker, or whatever it is you want to do, you realize those people are going to be there for you the exact same way, whether you are playing in front of 19,000 people or just doing, whatever you want to do. They're going to be there for you. And that was a huge lesson. And it's funny. It comes back to this year being as difficult as it has been. It's made it a lot easier to just kind of hold on to that and realize, and that's my family, that's my friends, that's also the organization in Minnesota. They've been extremely supportive and helpful, and you realize that people are there for you, and they're there to get you through difficult times.
Well, Devan, well said, and I think that's why you're one of the more popular guys, not just within your own team, but the teams you've been on. And we appreciate your time. We're glad that everything's going well at home, and hopefully it'll be going well on the ice sometime soon. Take care, Devan.
Awesome. Thanks, Gene.